everyone shits their pants because Rolex changed the color on something or didn't. Whoa!
Yeah.
The changes. There are no changes.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are Daytonas available yet? They're like, not yet. I'm like,
not yet. Yeah.
okay.
What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris Watch Shop.
My name is a fan, and this video is sponsored by HelloFresh.
Thank you to HelloFresh. You're a fan of mine? Is that what you were saying?
Well, I don't know if you saw it in the live. Our editor, Mike, you said the joke, your name is Theo Harrington and a fan.
And a fan.
So at the end, it was like an off topic with Theo Harrington and a fan.
What are we talking about today?
Rolex leaks, and by some miracle, I hit the ball out of the park.
You hit the nail on the head.
The way you said it was like you explained what you meant, but I thought you were saying, because I said this in a video prior, like
Yes.
I predicted what was going to happen, and you said like my mouth was moving, but you weren't hearing anything.
Yes.
I thought you meant because you were realizing like I was rising to like God status.
No, the opposite. So we'll talk more about that in a second. The Rolex new releases are coming up at the end of the month.
Very soon.
This is literally the largest time of the year in watches, period. There's nothing that even rivals it.
Media frenzy, literally.
Everyone shits their pants because Rolex changed the color on something or didn't. Whoa!
Yeah.
The changes. There are no changes.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are Daytonas available yet? They're like, not yet. I'm like,
not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Not yet.
Everyone goes nuts. YouTube goes crazy. It's wild.
Everything goes nuts.
Can't wait for that. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna record like 5 videos the day of, and we're gonna release them that week. It's gonna be a phenomenal week.
It's going to be amazing. But it's also a really good time, as we've seen Swatch in their feeble attempt to troll a little bit, to gain a following, to get attention. So Swatch did this with the Moon Swatch release.
Yes.
It was kind of a bomb. But that gets into the larger discussion that we'll have right after this, because we have another final discussion about how pay-to-play is ruining watches.
Yes.
Article by Hodinkee that I thought was really good.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the fact that these leaks, there's slip-ups now. This person that could be releasing real things is starting. You caught him on something. I'm catching him on like the actual Photoshop job. So they could be real, but there's some mounting evidence that they aren't real and that they watch our videos and are mashing up what we're saying on the watches.
Exactly. Obviously because it's so cool to see Rolex leaks. It's so exciting to see to theoretically know what's going on.
Only on one account is one guy.
Leaks are great. WikiLeaks were great. That guy's super famous now.
Dude, I can't stop hearing about that guy.
Everyone loves him, right? Anyway, we're going to try to get to the bottom of whether or not those leaks are real later, but for the time being, we're going to assume that the leaks to date have been correct.
The Milgauss. And you said it the funniest way ever.
So the Milgauss clearly needs an update. The Milgauss
it looks fat. It looks like the second iteration of the case design, or I guess like the 5th for the Milgauss, but it's the transitional one, the one that was like, ooh,
exactly. It's a cool watch. I'm sure many of you that are watching are wearing Milgauss watches, and that's great. I really do like the watches, but they, that's enough. I mean, we need an update in their collection, and a lot of folks like me, like you, believe that a beautiful update would be not a reissue, not something from their past, but something that is a slight return to the past, a slight nod to the past.
Yes.
Still in modernity, very much so in modernity, but a nod to the past.
Yeah.
Right? It's a more classical design. Same way that the Panda, the ceramic Daytonas are very much modern and yet a nod to the Daytona past. This is the same.
Which is Rolex's bread and butter.
Exactly.
They will never, and we've said this in videos before, there's never, when you're looking at their transitions, a weird hiccup. This doesn't all of a sudden look like the watch in the 50s.
Right.
It looks like it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly.
Perfectly.
So that's what we were hoping for, and if we're taking this leak for truth, we got the exact opposite.
This video is sponsored by HelloFresh, aka My Dinner.
For a while now. You love HelloFresh.
Dude, I get just a box full of these paper bags, and I'm like, okay, this will be my dinner.
Yeah.
And then I cook it.
Yeah.
And I don't cook a lot, so the best part is, like, I don't really know how the sausage gets made behind the scenes.
Right.
But now I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's just I love to cook, but there is so much. The act of cooking is not as difficult as the preparation to do it. Getting all of the ingredients and obviously picking the right recipe, that is laborious, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and HelloFresh cuts out all of that and really gives you the most convenient opportunity, almost like the no excuses opportunity now to make a delicious dinner.
And at the same time, it's teaching me how to cook.
Yes.
Because I don't cook a lot. I make very basic things, and it's lovely because Taylor's not back in the U.S. yet, but I'm like, I would love to be able to have the knowledge.
Yes.
I made a sauce on one of these recipes, and I was like, there's no way these ingredients go together. Like, there's no way this tastes good. And then I had it, and I was like, oh, that's what that sauce is. Like,
delicious.
That's honey and mayonnaise and this and that. Yeah, it was amazing. And the craziest part is that most times it's cheaper than the grocery store.
Yep.
You have your meals already laid out, and it's obviously way cheaper than a restaurant, but it's restaurant quality food.
Yeah.
And they have a dietitian win section, so if you want lower sodium, lower calories, or stuff like that. It's incredibly easy, it's incredibly cheap and efficient.
Delicious.
Everything is dietitian recommended. And everything is also, they send you things, obviously, different months have different fruits and vegetables that are in season, and you get the correct in-season fruits and vegetables.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're getting really quality produce.
Exactly.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It saves me a ton of time, and it's just the convenience. You don't have to go to the grocery store, and you don't have to think about what you're going to make.
And we've got a phenomenal offer for all our fans today.
Go to HelloFresh.com and use code Theo and Harris 60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com, Theo and Harris 60.
And I think the offer is that way because they know that you're going to be so satisfied with it that you're going to be a repeat and loyal customer. That's the quality of HelloFresh. So head on over and join the HelloFresh family. We are not getting the update that the Milgauss needs. We're getting the update that you asked for, and that is absurd to me.
So my theory was that, well, not even a theory, it's an extension of Rolex. When they're retooling something, they're getting the original design or the newest design made for a watch. They get the cast or however they do things behind the scenes. And then they use that on different models. Because you look at the Yachtmaster, the Submariner, the GMT, you're like, okay, I can see how you're using this set of machining tools that make this design.
Yep.
And boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
These are essentially the same or similar watches with different modifications. So they're using a central part over and over again. So the theory was if they release something new, a new case design in some way, that will most likely carry over to things.
Right.
So they released a new Air King with crown guards and a different case, really. And the theory that I had was, okay, well then that is going to find its way into another watch in the line. I don't think it's a different Rolex Explorer 2 case. I think this is a totally new machine job. And I don't think it's going to go on the Explorer 1, so it has to go somewhere else. Enter in the Milgauss. It looks like...
The motherfucking Milgauss.
And what you said, what was funny was you weren't getting the connection of me saying, like, this has to go somewhere else. And then you said, like, I want a new Milgauss, but not realizing that's probably what was going to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes, if it's true, because there are some faults even in that post.
Assuming it's true, that is very frustrating. The Milgauss needs a full revamp. It does not need crown guards. Crown guards can be an addition to the Milgauss, but they cannot be the addition to the Milgauss.
Right.
Okay.
It also, the interesting part was a lot of people were commenting, like, does the anti-magnetism improve? Because at one point it was good, but now it's kind of becoming more and more standard in watch brands that, like, it's just anti-magnetic. Like, Omega's basically achieved that with their watch line.
So two problems. One, I agree with you that yes, Rolex, what Rolex was once famous for, which is this anti-magnetic technology, they no longer lead the space in. Omega probably leads the space.
Yeah.
The caveat there is, and you're right, but does it matter? Who needs...
The caveat
more?
is, it's like, congratulations, Omega, you got them. Okay.
Congratulations, you won the race that no one else is racing.
Exactly. PHA, thinness of a watch.
Exactly.
Congratulations, you won again.
You won again.
Yeah.
It's like saying, like, I have the world record for most teeth in my mouth. Everyone's like...
And you're growing more. They're like, you're still in the lead, bud.
I don't know why you're doing it.
That's fantastic.
And the second one, and your conclusion is correct, so far as I'm seeing it now, which is that Rolex is going to take the Crown Guard Air King case and put it in their collection, particularly in the Milgauss, expand it. I don't think it's because they're looking to find efficiencies in production. I think that the leading desire is Rolex is so dedicated to continuity into their collection. Rolex does not do one-off,
this random
thing.
watch doesn't have a different case shape.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Look at the bezel options on Rolex. They used to be far more bezel options, and now there's not. Right?
Yeah, it's
Rolex
true.
keeps everything very concise. Dials they play around with a little bit. Fine. Dials are where their language is a little bit more independent, a little bit more whatever. But the cases, everything about it, they're pretty much the same.
You can spend a lot of time on the Rolex website, but not as much as Omega or IWC,
Right?
Because they have just tons of watches in different variations and special editions and special releases, different case shapes, different sizes. Rolex is like, do you want a diver case shape? Do you want a chronograph case shape? Or do you want not?
Right.
And now, do you want crown guards or no crown guards, essentially?
It's very, very simple and straightforward. They don't do a lot of variations. And that is so decisive. Rolex exudes confidence in their portfolio, which is the exact opposite of what Tudor exudes in their portfolio. Tudor exudes a lack of decision, kind of a,
To me, they exude
mealy-mouthed kind of attempt to make it
something worked, so that needs to be everything.
Right.
Everything needs to have Black Bay in front of it and look like the Black Bay.
Right, exactly. Whereas Rolex is saying, we understand how to build a collection. And if you don't like it, then don't be a client, but you all want it.
It is one of those things where there's such a smaller selection compared to other brands that you're like, these got to be good.
Yeah, I think that what it comes down to is a lot of other brands are trying to offer the audience, the people, what they want.
Yes,
And
I shouldn't say
Rolex
these
is-
got to be good. It's that.
Rolex is saying, I'm not going to offer you what you want. I'm going to tell you what you want.
It comes in 3 colors and it looks like this. Do you want it? And you're like, I wish it came in green. They're like, well, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Someone in my family buys something expensive, we all it's cool. Like it's a fun thing. Like we definitely make a thing out of it.
Sure,
Not a huge thing, but a thing. You know,
we used to crush tomatoes with our feet. It's a very Italian thing to do.
Right? Exactly.
We all go to the street and we just
crush tomatoes,
and we go back inside.
and we drink wine. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of folks, particularly in the watch community, they have so much money and they spend so much money, whether it's on watches or on handbags or on jewelry, whatever. That it's no longer an event. It's a non-event when you acquire something new. Whereas in my family, because we aren't those people, when you buy something, it's like, that's great. That's awesome. I know you wanted that. I'm proud of you. It's awesome. Good for you.
Right.
Good for you. It's fun. So my mom, when she was like first starting to like maybe buy something here or there, like whatever, she would go into a store and was very self-conscious because a lot of the luxury store people had just a fucking attitude. They're terrible.
Oh my God, I fear them.
They're terrible. And I said, Mom, what are you afraid? Go in the store. Go figure out what you want. And she's like, well, I don't like to go in. Unless I'm really about to do it, I don't like to go in. And I was like, so then how are you going to learn about the product unless you go in beforehand and kind of do your background, and see the collection? And she's like, I know, but I'm nervous. And I said, wow, what a sad state of luxury affairs. Like, obviously,
It's
luxury
true.
is aspirational, but like you, respectfully, you're here, the sales employee, to help me. And yeah, you can weed out non-customers. I have no problem with that. Like, you can't waste your time on everybody, whatever. But but you need to at least be polite. I'm not saying be at my beck and call. I'm not saying that at all.
Can I help you find anything? Do you need
Yeah,
anything?
but hey, I'll be over here. Like,
a lot
whatever.
of the times it's like,
Yeah, it's
I've got it.
weird.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You.
I was filming at a store for the person. They didn't know this, but I was filming on behalf of the person that owned the building. And people were just like mad and being like, you can't be here. And I was like, you can't be here.
Yeah. Respectfully.
And I don't want to tell you what's happening, but you're not going to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I felt it when I was visiting Taylor in Copenhagen. We went to Prada store. I went to a Prada store, not to buy anything, just to look. I think I was trying to get shoes somewhere else. But like, oh my God, there was just an employee in all black, like in every corner. No one said like, can I help you find anything? Just staring. And immediately you walk in and you're like, let's get out of here.
You know what was a truly great moment? A really unsung, truly great moment in my life was growing up, being obviously, aware of all these amazing luxury things, particularly watches, always like kind of fascinated in all these brands. I remember being a kid walking through like city centers, generally, maybe Manhattan, but generally like when we traveled, whether you're Place Vendôme or you're in all these different places all over Europe or in, domestic or wherever the fuck. And there's all these stores with all this money. I remember feeling such inferiority and like embarrassment that we didn't have any money to buy any of the things, you know, that like I wouldn't even talk. I would almost be silent because I didn't even want to make my dad feel bad that we couldn't go into Cartier. Like for real, like a lot of guilt, like a lot of really weird guilt. Yeah, it was super weird, you know, but then later in like high school we started to buy like some cool whatever. But when Sally and I were in Paris, walking through Place Vendôme, all these stores, and we were gonna go to a bar, we're gonna go to Harry's bar actually, and she was like, "Oh, there's Breguet. Do you want to stop in?" And I was like, "No, f them. Like, why would I want to stop in?" And I was like, "Oh wow, what a full circle!
Wow,
like, that's so funny."
She's like, "Because it's the watch you wore on our first date. Like, isn't that really important to you?" You're like,
"No, I'm wearing it right now. Like,
I have it.
Let's go for a drink."
But like, don't you want to just like relive that moment when, like, on our first date? You're like, "No, absolutely
not." Like, but and that's the weird thing about luxury, right? Luxury things, you know, in watches specifically, they're supposed to be like, at least as I view it, like this awesome community. The caveat is I know that I'm wrong, right? So I'll get to that in a second. It's supposed to be this awesome community of people that whether they choose to participate in conversation about it or not, are basically saying with their money the same thing that we speak with our vote, right? I believe in this. Yeah. This registers with me, which is a cool thing, and it registers with me this much.
Yes,
you know, right. And that's a cool. You create this community because you're a group of people that all believe in the same genre or even subgenre, be it Grand Seiko, be it Rolex, be it vintage. It's very, very cool. It's exciting to be at a watch event and to be among like-minded people.
Until
until
one guy comes in with two Jorns on each wrist and is like, "I got these so far below market value." Yeah. Remember that guy?
I do remember that guy.
You kept looking at me.
Forget about how much. I probably made about $2 million.
Like, forget about it. And then he's pulling out of other ones in his suit. He's like, "I was just eating these up during the pandemic. Like, prices were just low."
I remember.
You and I are like...
That's funny.
How obnoxious.
That's funny. That is so true. Yeah. But anyway, it's supposed to be like this beautiful thing. But so much of it, you know, is predicated upon the success of these brands. I don't know about in watches as much as other things, but it's predicated upon, because watches happen to be a particularly cool, geeky, like nice community. Yeah. But so much of the greater culture of luxury is predicated upon not just like.
It doesn't matter how
it's a little exclusive and it's a little obnoxious and there's a little pressure involved.
There's a little bit of, at least from a very nerdy technical standpoint, like, well, I don't really care what it's made out of. I don't care how long it's gonna last. I'm like, why?
Right.
Isn't that really, like, don't you want it to age? Like, actually, if it's aged, it's not good anymore.
Yes.
Like,
interesting. 100%. You're 100% right. I mean, even with Cartier jewelry versus like generally watches, you know, how many people that own the Juste un Clou know anything about Aldo Cipulo, the designer of it, or why it happened when it did and why it's important? Yeah. Whereas you go up to watch owners, generally speaking, not everybody, but generally speaking, you know, people that own a JLC, people that own Cartier is tough because it's such a mass market brand, but own a lot of Rolexes, own a lot of things. They can say a little bit more to a lot more about the product that they invested their money in, which is cool. You know, it's cool. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, that ties into our last subject.
I fucking love watches. The watches are so
Check
cool.
out the Theo and Harris watch out, by the way.
Watch out.
But yeah, that transitions into our last subject. But before we get to there, I want to talk about the part that could be fake.
Oh yeah. So.
And this is my maybe. What is that word? It's like not what you'd expect me to say. This is my hot take.
Yeah. That was your attempt.
English is my second language. Yeah. Hot take: if the Milgauss came out like that in 40, not 41, which is the big, you know, thing, I think that's a cool watch. I'd probably want to get that one.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's sweet. In 40. 41, I'd be like, it's still too big. It's a little clunky looking. I know it. But that watch in 40, even better 39, even better 38.
You still don't think that it's not enough changed?
I think it looks incredibly weird, but I like that about it.
It is weird.
Yeah, like, and I'm thinking the crystal's probably a little domed. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not domed, but it's green, which is cool. I love that.
It's weird.
I love the green crystal on the Milgauss.
It's basically at this point an Explorer 2 without the bezel and with like a Milgauss property. That I'd be like, that's so weird. Like that's the one I'd probably want to get. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
But the case size is the first issue people took when they're trying to say, like, this doesn't seem like it's real. 41. They said it would be 40. It doesn't make any sense. So it's
basically a Submariner size.
Exactly.
41 with the thinner lugs.
The 41 is interesting because people are saying it doesn't make sense that it's a 41 because that's basically between sizes, in this case shape being offered. 42 with the Explorer 2 and then 40 with the Air King.
Yeah.
So why are we stepping up now? Maybe that's true. Maybe they want to have similar case shape, 40, 41, 42.
Yeah.
But who knows? The other thing, which I'll toss on you when people saying were fake, was about the Platinum Daytona.
The Platinum Daytona on Oysterflex. The reason some commenters thought this was fake, meaning that that it was not a real release, it is a fake mock-up,
yes.
is because the reference of the watch 116506, which is in the photograph, ends in 506, which alludes to the Platinum bracelet. And this watch, this photo showed the Oysterflex bracelet. So the question kind of became, well, did you just forget to change the reference? Did you forget as the fake editor that the reference had to change for this to be true? To which they responded, well, someone told me the reference is the same because it's being offered on a platinum bracelet with an extra Oysterflex that you can swap out by yourself. And I don't believe it. I think
it doesn't seem very Rolex.
They made a little mistake. I think it's cool, interchangeable. They call it Oyster Lock, he said. I don't believe that. I still think it's cool, but I don't believe it.
So herein lies the rub of why it could be fake.
Yes.
Number one, you have some misfacts. Number two, like we said, it is the time to raise hype if you're trying to promote your brand in any way. Maybe, I don't know what the follow-up would be. What do you think it would be if those were
It's just having fun, maybe. Yeah, maybe the guy just wants an Instagram account, you know?
But, like, that's great until the release. Do you think he'd try to keep it going or no?
Oh, no. Well, you lose all credibility.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the other thing is just the fact that it seems like he kind of took our idea and ran with it, which is funny.
Yeah, with the idea.
That's kind of weird.
Well, your idea. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah, right. You're like, I really don't think you should mention me with that.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm looking forward to the releases. We're going to film like 5 videos that day, the morning of the releases, and edit them all and have them out that week for you guys. So all of our reactions to the new releases from a whole lot of brands are going to be coming out, and I can't wait. We will find out if these were real or not for the Milgauss's sake. I hope they're not real, sorry. But I guess we're going to find out.
I think we will.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Get out of here.